Hey guys, my name is Third Eye, and today we'll be revising and analyzing the worst posthumous projects the estate of Michael Jackson, in this case Sony, has done since his death, and which I consider grave mistakes. But before we go any further, make sure you subscribe to my channel if you like my videos, and if you have any idea for a future video about music, comment it down below. And also, this is the part 2 of a video that I did some time ago, so if you want to hear about Michael, the This Is It 10th anniversary box set and the History 25th anniversary special, check out that video first. Well, since MJ's death, the estate has released various projects, around 2 every year, some respectful and nice, and some horrible and really disrespectful towards MJ's legacy. However, in this video we will only be covering the disrespectful ones, so let's start chronologically. First, we're gonna talk about one of the earliest mistakes of the MJ estate, even before the Michael album. I'm of course talking about the Michael Jackson's Vision project, a box set which included 3 DVDs and 4 hours of content with 42 Michael Jackson music videos, which were all set to be remastered and in 4K. First, let's get into the minor mistakes I got to find about this project, and later on we will get to the bigger problems. It's the fact that the retransmission of the music videos is not perfect. There are several technical problems and glitches during these. These include usual flashes here and then, and also audio glitches, for example some MJ screams being cut off. There are also slight changes in the music videos, which I also consider a minor problem. For example, they cut off the violent Michael Jackson scene at the end of Black and White. I think it's pretty obvious that they did that because of the controversy it caused right when it was released, but I mean, that was a while ago, and at the end of the day, this is a posthumous project, whose intention is, or at least should be, being respectful towards MJ's legacy and honorizing his memory, as well as pleasing the fans, so I'm not okay with what they did right there. And to add a few more problems, some loops in the songs change here and then, as if they were mixed, but not that often, and also the music video of What's Up With You with Eddie Murphy is missing, which I think should have definitely been included, as it belongs to MJ's discography. Now, let's get into the real and serious problems. First, there was a small misfabrication in this box set. It was announced everywhere that this box set included CDs and only CDs, but the case in which these are to find indicates that they're Blu-rays, when in reality they are actually CDs, and were said to be so publicly, which caused a grave confusion between fans. I think it's a mistake to have overlooked this detail, and I think they should be a little more careful with what they release under his name. And also, what loads of people complained about when this came out was the shitty ass quality, which many described as trash. The quality was, as it always had been, similar to the one available in YouTube's MJ music videos. And the problem is that it was said by the estate to be 4K, an obvious lie. This would not be the first time they lied to the MJ fandom, as literally 1 month later they would release the Michael album, but I think this slight fraud is important to mention. Next up, we have a controversial one, which many of you may not consider an entire flaw, but there's many things to criticize about it. I'm talking about the Michael Jackson hologram presented in the Billboard Music Awards in 2014, where he sang one of the singles of the recently released posthumous album, Escape. This hologram followed the new trend of posthumous performances through holograms, as it had previously been seen from artists like Tupac or Elvis Presley. As with Vision, first we'll talk about minor problems and then the grave flaws. One of the several points of criticism this hologram received was it not being loyal to MJ's past performances. Examples for that are the sidewalk, which appears sometime in the performance but is represented the wrong way, or at least not how the great man himself did it when he was alive. Michael always sidewalked from left to right, but in this hologram he does from right to left. What was also criticized was the hologram's face, due to it being very different to MJ's, which would later on have an explanation, and also the technical problems during the performance, like the image, for example, waving sometimes when it was not supposed to, which was later on fixed for the official upload on MJ's channel. Those flaws might not be something that everyone complains about, but what I'm gonna say next is what got loads of people enraged with the estate, and it's that the hologram was said to be one, but was actually not. It was made thanks to the Pepper Ghost illusion, and the person used in first place to create the illusion was an MJ impersonator, which explains the difference between the hologram's face and MJ's. That disappointed a lot of fans from the MJ community, as it was not created based on Michael Jackson, unlike the previously seen Tupac hologram, 100% made based on himself. Next up, we got the very anticipated Dangerous 25 celebration in November of 2016, which ended up at nothing at all. Dangerous, one of the most successful albums of all time, revolutionary and way different sounding than MJ's other records, did not have a proper celebration for its 25th anniversary, like Thriller or Bad had. Instead, the celebration was online. Some short films of the Dangerous era and audios of the songs were released on YouTube, and facts of the album were published through MJ's Instagram. Yes, as you're hearing. What the fuck were you thinking about, Estate? I think it's unnecessary to say that we fans are completely disappointed with just an online celebration and not a physical copy, especially when his two past albums, Thriller and Bad, had been celebrated in a proper way. Channels like Adam Martin even made videos with their suggestions of what could have been made for his anniversary. What the estate just had to do was listen to the fans, but they didn't. Reasons for that could maybe be the commercial flop of the Bad 25 celebration, or also that just earlier that year, the estate had released the 35th anniversary edition of the Off the Wall album. Was it because of laziness or commercial problems? That still does not mean that Dangerous didn't deserve its physical copy. Later on, the same would happen with History 25, as I showed in my previous video. Okay, before talking about the last mistake of the MJ estate, we definitely have to honorably mention one that happened during the release of the Thriller music video in 3D in 2017, which was hotly criticized for his mediocrity. But that's not what I want to talk about. While John Landis, the director of the new version and also of the OG one, was giving an interview about it, he referred to Michael Jackson as wackojacko. Name with which he was called by the press, but which Michael personally hated and found completely disrespectful towards his person.
Yeah, wackojacko. It's not nice. I'm not a wacko. Let's say he's an animal. Should not say he's jacko. I'm not a jacko. I'm Jackson. I have a heart and I have feelings. I feel that when you do that to me. It's not nice.
MJ State, I think that you gotta be aware of what Michael did and did not like to be called, as your purpose is supposedly honoring his memory. Next, we got a huge flaw, which also happened in 2017, and it's the Scream album, that can be considered by the fandom as one of the biggest disappointments from the MJ legacy of all time. Look, I'm gonna put you in context. It's 2017, 3 years have passed since the last big posthumous release, Xscape, an album with 8 brand new tracks and perfect reception by the public. At this point, it's obviously difficult to create something with the same standard of quality and success, but this? Okay, it's important to mention for everyone who doesn't know that this is actually a compilation album. Yes, as you're hearing, just a compilation album, no new tracks. Well, there's a remix which is pretty great, but no new tracks at all. I think it's unnecessary, but I'll say it over and over again. We fans don't need another compilation album. Listen, there's like hundreds of these. There's literally so many. And for you to come up with one that's supposed to include the Halloween ones, which is pretty weird, is completely unnecessary. It is really obvious at this point that the estate was just doing this for the money. And I'm even asking myself, why would you actually do this if it wasn't for the money? Having done such a great album like Xscape 3 years before and having so many unreleased tracks from MJ in his vaults, how and why? The estate failed us once more with this release, as they didn't do what the fans wanted. And to close this list of grave mistakes, we probably have one of the most controversial ones. I'm referring to the Michael Jackson feature on Drake's Don't Matter to Me, which was released in Drake's album Scorpion around half of 2018. Look, for this one, I'm gonna give my honest opinion. I personally think that including Michael Jackson on a modern track is not actually a bad idea, because it is a great opportunity to live up to his name and make him even more remembered around the young public. So, back when I heard that Drake was gonna release a song with MJ, I felt really excited, because I even knew that Drake was a huge Michael Jackson fan and that he would try his best to contribute to his legacy. But I was honestly wrong, and that was a huge disappointment. The track was a huge success, and it managed to get to the top 10 of the Billboard Hot 100 list, but when it got released, there were loads of people complaining about different aspects of the song. Many said it was not appropriate and respectful for Drake to use his vocals, but as I said, I don't have any problems with that. My problem comes with the track itself. The beat is fine, Drake does good, the production is a little bit simple, but MJ's vocals are trash. And why is that? Because they modified them. They clearly auto-tuned Michael's voice, and that's a fucking shame. I'm seriously talking to Drake right now. How do you dare? I know you're a great fan, so how did you approve your producers to auto-tune Michael in that way? The idea of putting him in a song with you is great. There, I agree with you. But why would you do that? Are you retarded? Since then, I've not heard Drake's music because I can't stand what he did to MJ's legacy. And obviously, MJ's family was not okay with this.
I just feel like I feel like if he didn't finish it, you shouldn't use it.
Undoubtedly, another big flaw by the MJ estate, including Drake this time. As last, I want to give a message to MJ's estate, and I think I'm speaking for all the MJ fandom when I say this. We all know it is, in fact, really difficult to maintain and have in your hands the legacy of the biggest artist of all time. It is really difficult, and we respect that you might not always do a perfect job, but what we ask as fans is your best. Because when you try your best and put all the effort you can into remembering Michael's memory, you get incredible and beautiful projects such as Xscape. But when you don't try your best and just try to make money out of him, you get all the flaws I mentioned in this video. As long as you keep selling physical copies of unreleased music or proper celebrations of albums, we fans will keep buying them. We are here to stand for our idol, but you are here to make his memory and legacy be remembered respectfully and in peace. Thank you for your time. And with all this said, let's end the video right here. I'm currently working on more Michael Jackson and Frank Sinatra content for you guys. So if you have any ideas or suggestions, please comment them. It might help me a lot. Having said all that, bye. See you around.